Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about the objective type question and answer from the topic matched Z transform and bilinear transformation method. These two methods are used to design the IIR digital filter. Okay. Already we discussed in the previous video the two methods we discussed in order to convert the analog IIR filter into digital filter. One is approximation of derivative and another one is the impulse invariant method. So these are all the two methods, other two methods in order to design the IIR digital filter. So we'll see the question. So I posted already the 7 videos for this DTSP. So if you want to learn, I will give the link for that videos in the description box. You can see, or in discrete time signal processing playlist, all videos are available in order. You can see. Okay. Or if you want to see the signals and system MCQ also, the signals and system MCQ and full the signals and system videos are available in my channel in the playlist in the name of signals and system. So you can go and see. Okay. The first question you see, in which of the following transformation poles and zeros of H of S are mapped directly into poles and zeros in the Z plane. Already you know, in transformation, the poles and the zeros of the analog domain is transformed into the poles and zeros in the Z plane. So in which of the following transformation poles and zeros of H of S are directly mapped into poles and zeros in the Z plane? Impulse invariant method, bilinear transformation, approximation of derivative, matched Z transform, matched Z transform. So in this matched Z transform, in order to transform the analog filter into equivalent digital filter, the map, the poles and zeros of H of S is directly into poles and zeros in Z plane. Okay, this is the happening in matched Z transform. Then the next question, which of the following is true in matched Z transform? Poles of H of S are directly mapped to poles in Z plane. Zeros of H of S are directly mapped to poles in Z plane. Poles and zeros of H of S are directly mapped to poles and zeros in Z plane. Okay, this is the correct one. Poles and zeros of H of S, that is analog filter, are directly mapped to poles and zeros in a Z plane. This is the thing happened in matched Z transform. The next one, in matched Z transform, the poles and zeros of H of S are directly mapped to poles and zeros in Z plane. So true or false? It's a true. Okay. The same question only in different way they are asking. The next question, the factor of the form S minus A in H of S is mapped into which of the following factor in Z domain? Okay. In H of S, if the term S minus A, the factor is available means that factor is mapped to which one in Z domain. Okay, so if the H of S is having the term in denominator S minus A means that is mapped to in Z domain is that 1 minus e power at Z inverse. Okay, so the S minus A, it is mapped to 1 minus e power at Z inverse. Similarly, the next question you see, the factor of the form S plus A in H of S is mapped into which of the following factor in Z domain? Okay, so here the 1 minus A e power minus at Z power minus 1. So you see the difference. If S plus A means 1 minus e power minus at Z inverse. In the previous question, S minus A means 1 minus e power plus at Z inverse. Okay, so that poles are mapped in Z plane like that. Then the next one, in the factor of the form S minus A in H of S is mapped into 1 minus e power at Z inverse in Z domain. Then that kind of transformation is called as dash. The S minus A in analog filter is mapped to 1 minus at into Z inverse in Z domain. This type of transformation, it is called as a matched Z transform. Okay, where the T is the sampling interval. Then the each factor, the S minus A in H of S is mapped to 1 minus e power at Z inverse in S domain. So this mapping is called as matched Z transform. Then the next thing, the poles obtained from matched Z transform are identical to poles obtained from which of the following transformation. So the poles obtained from, okay, so in this matched Z transform method, we are calculating some pole. That poles are identical to poles obtained from which of the following transformation. Bilinear transformation, impulse invariant method, approximation of derivative, none of the mentioned. Impulse invariant. So the poles obtained in matched Z transform is also identical to the poles obtained by the method impulse invariant method. In this two method, the poles are identical. The next one, the zero position obtained from the matched Z transform and impulse invariant method are not same. It's a true only. Only the poles, okay, the poles obtained from matched Z transform and impulse invariant method is same. But the zero position, okay, the zeros means already you know the roots of the numerator polynomial, we are calling it as a zero. So the zero position obtained from matched Z transform is different from the impulse invariant method. Okay, so this two thing is not same. It's a true only. The next thing, the sampling interval in matched Z transform. Sampling interval means capital T. The sampling interval in matched Z transform must be properly selected to yield the pole and zero location at the equivalent position in Z plane. It's a true. Okay, so in order to locate poles and zeros in a Z plane properly, we have to select the sampling interval capital T in a correct manner. We have to select the sampling interval in a proper manner in a matched Z transform. Okay. The next thing, what should be the value of sampling interval T to avoid aliasing? Okay, so in order to avoid the aliasing problem happened in the design of digital filter. So what about the value of T? Okay, the T value is 0, sufficiently large, sufficiently small, none of the mention. So the sampling interval value, it should be very sufficiently small. Okay, aliasing in this matched Z transformation can be avoided by selecting the sampling interval T. It is sufficiently small. Okay, this is the condition for T in order to avoid the aliasing in matched Z transform. Okay, the next thing, the frequency warping is referred as, okay, the frequency warping, it is used in bilinear transformation method. The frequency warping is referred as lower frequency in analog domain, expanded in digital domain, lower frequency in digital domain, expanded in analog domain, non-linear mapping, compression of higher frequency. So the frequency warping is referred to as the lower frequency in analog domain is expanded in digital domain, and the frequency warping, it's a non-linear mapping. It's a compression of high frequency. Okay, so these three things are correct. So 1, 3, 4 is a correct answer about the frequency warping. Okay, the next thing, the transformation technique in which there is one-to-one mapping from S domain to Z domain is dash. Okay, the transformation. So we studied the 4 different transformation: approximation of derivative, impulse invariant method, bilinear transformation, and so on. Okay, backward difference method and so on. So in this, in which one-to-one mapping from S domain to Z domain. That is one-to-one mapping means the pole, one pole in S domain is converted into the particular pole in Z domain. The one-to-one mapping is happened in bilinear transformation method. The next one, neither the impulse response nor the phase response of the analog filter is preserved in digital filter in the following method. Okay, so the impulse response and the phase response of the analog filter is not preserved in digital filter in which of the method. Okay, in bilinear transformation, neither the impulse response and the phase response is not preserved. Okay, Then the next one, what is the disadvantage of impulse invariant method? So the impulse invariant method already we discussed in the previous video. So what is the disadvantage in impulse invariant method? Means it's a aliasing problem. Okay, aliasing problem has happened in impulse invariant method. The next one, which of the IR filter design method is anti-aliasing method? Okay, so in which IAR filter design method is the anti-aliasing method. So anti-aliasing means in order to avoid the aliasing effect, we are using the thing, it is called as anti-aliasing. The bilinear transformation. So bilinear transformation, it uses the anti-aliasing method. So in this method, there is no aliasing effect. The next one, the non-linear relation between the analog and digital frequency is called as dash. Okay, so already we studied one linear relation. The analog frequency omega equal to the digital frequency w omega equal to analog frequency into t. Okay, but the non-linear, there is a non-linear relation between analog and digital frequency is there. It is called as warping. Okay, warping effect. That warping it will done in bilinear transformation. The next one, the bilinear transformation is used for transforming an analog filter into digital filter. Yes, the bilinear transformation, it is used to transform the analog filter into digital. Yes, it's the correct only. The next one, which of the following rule is used in the bilinear transformation? So Simpson's rule, backward difference, forward difference, trapezoidal rule. The trapezoidal rule is used in bilinear transformation. Okay. Then which of the following substitution is done in bilinear transformation? So while converting the analog filter into digital filter, the variable s, okay, the Laplace variable s, it can be converted into uh, the variable z, okay, the z domain variable. So while converting s to z, which is substitution we have to take? So s is equal to 2 by t 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus z inverse. If you are substituting the variable s by 2 by t 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus z inverse in a h of s expression, we will get the corresponding digital filter in bilinear transformation. So this relation, it is called as a bilinear transformation relation. S is replaced by 2 by t 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus z inverse. Okay, then the next one, in bilinear transformation, the left half S plane is mapped to which of the following in Z domain? Already you know the left half S plane value is mapped inside the unit circle of radius modulus of Z is equal to 1 in order to design a stable filter. Okay, so the left half value is mapped entirely inside the unit circle in Z plane. Okay, so inside the unit circle, we have to place all the values in the left half S plane. If a right half S plane value is mapped outside the unit circle. Then the next one, the equation S equal to 2 by T 1 minus Z inverse by 1 plus Z inverse is a true frequency to frequency transformation. It's a true. Okay. Unlike the backward difference method, that is the left half pole is mapped inside the unit circle. Okay. Then the imaginary axis value is mapped on the unit circle. So here the S is equal to 2 by T 1 minus Z inverse by 1 plus Z inverse. If you are substituting, we will get that true. It's a true frequency to frequency transformation technique. The next one, if S is equal to sigma plus j omega and Z is equal to R into e power j omega, then what is the condition on sigma if R is less than 1? Already we studied this question in the previous video, but in different format. If sigma is less than 0 means what is the value of R? If sigma is equal to 1 means what is the value of R? If sigma greater than 1 means what is the value of R? We discussed. So here in reverse they are asking. So already you see the relation, that is the analog variable S. It can be written as sigma plus j omega. The Z domain variable Z is equal to in polar form R into e power j digital frequency omega. Okay, so here for which value of sigma, okay, for which value of sigma, this radius r, it should be less than 1. Okay, if the radius r less than 1 means what about the value of sigma? It is a question. Okay, so the answer is that the sigma value, it should be less than 0. If the sigma less than 0 means the radius r, it should be less than 1. Okay, there is the condition. In that video, in reverse, we discussed that question. If sigma less than 0 means what is the radius r? The r value, it should be less than 1. Similarly, if s is equal to sigma plus j omega, r equal to r into e power j omega, and the radius r equal to 1, then which of the following inference is correct? So here you see the radius r, it should be equal to 1. So what is the meaning? R is equal to 1 means the imaginary axis in the S-plane is mapped to the circle. Okay, the imaginary axis value, imaginary, if the poles are located in the imaginary axis means that the values are mapped on the unit circle. Okay, so the C is the correct answer. Imaginary axis in the S-plane is mapped to the circle. Modulus of Z is equal to 1. The next one, if S is equal to sigma plus j omega and Z equal to R into e power j omega, what is the condition on sigma if R greater than 1? Okay, if R less than 1 means the sigma value, it should be less than 0. Okay, R less than 1 means the sigma value, it should be less than 0. If R greater than 1 means what about the value of sigma? So the sigma value, it should be greater than 0. Okay, this is the condition. The next one, what is the expression for digital frequency in bilinear transformation when R is equal to 1? Okay, when the radius R is equal to 1, this is the non-linear relation between the analog frequency and the digital frequency. So the digital frequency omega equal to 2 by t tan inverse omega t divided by 2. So this is called as pre-warping frequency, and this is the non-linear relation between the analog frequency omega. This omega is analog frequency. This is the digital frequency. Okay. So this is the expression for digital frequency in terms of analog frequency if the R, radius r is equal to 1. So the answer is here the D, 2 by t tan inverse omega t by 2, where t is a sampling interval, omega, this omega is an analog frequency, and this omega is the digital frequency. Okay, this is the important relation. This pre-warping frequency is used in bilinear transformation. The next one, what is the kind of relationship between omega and omega? The analog omega and the digital frequency omega, what is the, which kind of relationship is that? Okay, many to one, one to many, one to one, many to many, one to one. Okay, there is a one to one relation. If one analog frequency means we will get the corresponding one digital frequency. Okay, so the analog frequencies omega is in between plus or minus infinity or mapped to the digital frequency omega between plus or minus pi. Okay, the frequency mapping is not analyzed. So the relation between analog frequency omega and digital frequency omega is 1 to 1. Okay, so the relation between analog and digital frequency, it's a 1 to 1 relation. So these are all the some of the questions about the design of IR digital filter in the case of bilinear transformation and matched Z transform method. Okay, so these are all the 4 design methods in order to convert the analog Butterworth-Chebyshev filter into the corresponding digital IR filter techniques. Okay, so thanks for watching my channel. If we want to learn the remaining videos for this subject and signals and system, so I will give the link for that videos in the description box or iCard, you can see, or in my channel in the signals and system playlist. All videos are available in DTSP playlist. The DTSP videos are available. You can use it. Okay, so thank you. Please share this video to your friends also. Thank you.